Have you ever felt that unsettling chill when your partner talks a little too fondly about someone at work? Lately, my boyfriend's stories about his so-called work wife have been setting off alarm bells in my mind. I find myself questioning, is this just a harmless friendship, or is there something more lurking beneath the surface? As the days go by, I can't shake this nagging feeling that there's more to their relationship than just shared lunch breaks and office banter. Could I be overreacting, or is there truly something amiss? I'm a 28-year-old woman working in marketing, and I've been dating my boyfriend Alex for almost 3 years now. We met through mutual friends and clicked instantly, sharing a love for outdoor adventures and late-night movie marathons. Until recently, our relationship has been pretty solid, filled with laughter and mutual support as we navigate the ups and downs of life together. Alex works as a software developer at a medium-sized tech company. Over the past few months, I've noticed a new name popping up in our conversations more frequently: Sophie. She's his colleague and, according to Alex, his work wife. Initially, I dismissed it as just another office dynamic, the kind of playful banter that happens between coworkers who spend long hours together. However, over time, I've started to notice subtle changes in the way Alex talks about Sophie. It's not just the frequency, but the way his eyes light up when he recounts their office escapades or the funny things she says. It's like he's sharing inside jokes that I'm not a part of. At first, I tried to brush it off, telling myself that it's natural for him to have friendships at work, especially in a demanding job that often blurs the lines between personal and professional life. But as days turned into weeks, a nagging sense of unease began to settle in. I couldn't help but wonder if I was missing something or if I was just being paranoid. This uncertainty gnawed at me, leaving me feeling anxious and a bit insecure, something I hadn't felt in our relationship before. It was time to pay closer attention and figure out if my gut was onto something or if I needed to rein in my imagination. As my unease simmered beneath the surface, I tried to distract myself with work and hobbies, hoping my suspicions would fade with time. But instead, things took an unexpected turn. One evening, Alex came home unusually late from work, his face flushed with excitement. When I asked about his day, he casually mentioned that he and Sophie had been chosen to lead a critical project together, requiring long hours and close collaboration. My heart sank, not because of the project itself, but because of the way he seemed genuinely thrilled about spending more time with her. I congratulated him, forcing a smile, while internally grappling with a mixture of dread and jealousy. The announcement marked the beginning of a new phase in our relationship, one where Sophie was no longer just a name in our conversations, but a constant presence in Alex's life. As the weeks went by, Alex's work commitments intensified, and our time together dwindled. He was often preoccupied, his mind seemingly elsewhere, even during our cherished weekend outings. I couldn't help but notice the changes: missed dinners, canceled plans, and the occasional text from him saying he'd be working late again. It was clear that this project was demanding, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something else was contributing to his increasing absence. The curveball came when Alex mentioned that Sophie had gone through a rough patch, and he had been there to support her. She was going through a breakup, and Alex had become her confidant. While part of me understood the need for empathy and friendship, I couldn't ignore the pang of discomfort knowing he was becoming emotionally involved in her personal life. One night, after another lengthy day apart, I confronted Alex. My voice trembled as I expressed my concerns about the growing bond with Sophie and how it was affecting us. To my surprise, Alex was defensive, brushing off my worries as insecurity and insisting that their relationship was purely professional. He accused me of not trusting him, which only added fuel to my emotional turmoil. Frustration and fear took hold of me, and I found myself questioning everything I thought I knew about our relationship. Was I truly overreacting, or was there a legitimate cause for concern? The seeds of doubt planted deepened into a tangled web of confusion and anxiety. I felt trapped in my own thoughts, unsure of how to navigate this complex situation without pushing Alex further away. I realized I needed to approach this with more than just emotion if I wanted any chance of resolving the growing tension between us. Determined not to let my emotions spiral into something I couldn't control, I decided to take a proactive approach to resolving the tension between Alex and me. My first step was to open the lines of communication, even if our initial confrontation hadn't gone as planned. I approached Alex again, this time armed with patience and a clearer head, hoping to have a more constructive conversation. I expressed my feelings calmly, emphasizing that my concerns stemmed from a place of love and a desire to protect what we had. To my relief, Alex seemed more receptive this time. He admitted that he hadn't realized how his actions were affecting me and agreed that we needed to make more time for each other outside his demanding work schedule. We promised to set aside one evening a week for a date night. Just us, no work talk, no distractions. For a while, this arrangement seemed to work, and I felt a glimmer of hope that things were returning to normal. In addition to improving our communication, I sought advice from close friends. They offered different perspectives, some reassuring, others more cautious, but all valuable in helping me process my feelings. Their support reminded me that I wasn't alone in this, and that relationships are rarely without their hurdles. However, just as I began to feel a sense of balance returning, another curveball hit us. Alex came home one evening looking stressed and exhausted. He explained that the project had taken an unexpected turn, requiring even more of his time and energy. To make matters worse, Sophie had taken a leave of absence due to personal issues, leaving Alex to shoulder the bulk of their work alone. This new development meant more late nights and weekend work sessions, once again cutting into our time together. Despite our best efforts, the strain on our relationship intensified. It felt like every step forward was met with another obstacle, testing my resolve and patience. I knew I needed to adapt, to find new ways to cope with these changes while maintaining trust in Alex. But with every new challenge, the path forward seemed increasingly uncertain, leaving me wondering how much more I could endure before something had to give. The ongoing turmoil with Alex has left me on an emotional roller coaster, one that has been hard to disembark. The initial feelings of unease have morphed into a constant background hum of anxiety, affecting not only my mental health, but also my interactions with those around me. I find myself withdrawing from social gatherings, preferring the solitude of my thoughts over the potential discomfort of explaining my situation to friends who might not understand. At work, my concentration has waned, and tasks that once felt fulfilling now seem burdensome. My performance hasn't gone unnoticed, and my manager has expressed concern, gently suggesting I take some time off if needed. While I appreciate the support, the suggestion only compounds my stress, highlighting how deeply this issue has seeped into every facet of my life. Alex and I still have our moments of connection, but they feel increasingly rare. We occasionally slip into arguments over trivial matters, often stemming from underlying frustrations about the larger issue at hand. Our conversations can easily turn tense, leaving both of us feeling misunderstood and disconnected. Despite these challenges, I've tried to maintain some semblance of normalcy. I've kept up with my exercise routine, finding temporary solace in the rhythmic pounding of my feet on the pavement. Yet, even during these moments of escape, my mind inevitably drifts back to the situation with Alex, replaying our conversations and analyzing every detail for hidden meanings or clues. The weight of uncertainty has taken its toll, and there are days when I feel hopeless, wondering if our relationship will ever regain its former stability. I often question if I'm equipped to handle the complexities of love in the face of such challenges, or if I'm only delaying the inevitable by trying to hold on to something that might already be slipping away. In moments of clarity, I remind myself that relationships are rarely straightforward, and that every couple faces trials at some point. This thought offers a sliver of hope, a reminder that perhaps there is a path through this uncertainty, one that we can navigate together if we remain committed to understanding and supporting each other. As the situation with Alex grew more complex and my efforts to mend the rift seemed to falter, I found myself standing at a crossroads. Each attempt to communicate and reconnect felt like a temporary patch on a ship taking on water. The thought that perhaps we were nearing the end of our journey together began to creep into my mind, a notion I had been desperately trying to avoid. I started to contemplate what life might look like without Alex by my side. The idea of a breakup, something I once thought unimaginable, loomed like a storm cloud on the horizon. It wasn't a decision I took lightly. The mere thought of it sent a wave of sadness and fear crashing over me. What if ending things meant losing not just a partner, but also a friend and confidant, the potential social fallout, and having to explain to friends and family why our once happy relationship had unraveled added another layer of anxiety. Yet the idea of continuing on the current path filled with uncertainty and emotional turmoil, seemed equally daunting. I feared the long-term consequences of staying in a relationship where trust and communication felt increasingly fragile. Could I live with the constant doubt and the gnawing fear of betrayal? Torn between taking decisive action and clinging to hope, I found myself paralyzed by indecision. I knew that drastic measures, whether a breakup or a serious ultimatum, could irrevocably change the course of my life. But as much as I feared the unknown, the thought of doing nothing and allowing the relationship to deteriorate further was a choice I wasn't willing to make. In this moment of vulnerability, I realized that whatever decision lay ahead, it would require courage, self-reflection, and an honest assessment of what I truly wanted for my future. The uncertainty was terrifying, but I knew I couldn't ignore the call to action forever. After months of emotional turmoil and countless sleepless nights, I found myself standing at a precipice, uncertain of the next step. The journey with Alex has been a complex tapestry of love, doubt, and a desperate hope for resolution. Despite our efforts to mend the cracks, the recurring challenges have left me feeling emotionally drained and more isolated than ever before. Now I'm reaching out to you, hoping to find some clarity or solace in shared experiences. Have any of you faced similar situations where a partner's work relationship stirred feelings of insecurity and mistrust? How did you navigate the delicate balance between trust and suspicion, and what steps did you take to protect your relationship without losing yourself in the process? I'm torn between taking drastic measures to protect my heart and continuing to fight for a relationship that once brought me so much joy. I'm unsure if my fears are valid or if they're simply a manifestation of deeper insecurities. Your insights and experiences might offer a fresh perspective or a solution I haven't yet considered. While I understand there may not be a one-size-fits-all answer, any advice or support you can share would be invaluable. Perhaps just knowing I'm not alone in this struggle will provide the strength I need to make a decision that aligns with my hopes for the future. Thank you for listening, and for any guidance you can offer as I navigate this challenging chapter.